The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hi, this is Mark Zavon, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today, it is an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Mark Zavon. He is the guitarist of the mighty Kill Devil Hill. He has a new single, Message at the Tone, is out now off his debut self-titled solo album. Mark played guitars on this. He's also played the bass, keyboards, and even handling all the vocals on this, of course. His debut self-titled album will be released November 23rd via EMP Label Group. And I've got a chance to take a listen to Message at the Tone. It's pretty cool. Really, really cool, actually. We're going to be talking to Mark about all of this. So, Mark, how's it going, man?
It's going good, John. How you doing?
Doing awesome. Glad to have you on here, man.
Hey, the pleasure's all mine. I'm glad you had me.
So, we all know Kill Devil's on hiatus for right now, and hopefully soon, maybe later, we'll have some new music by you guys. But in the meantime, we've got your solo album that's going to come out, and let's jump right into this, man. How's it been working with the EMP Label Group for your solo album?
Oh, those guys are awesome. You know, it's actually super refreshing to work with some guys that really have an idea of how the industry's working nowadays. So, you know, I was fortunate enough to have met Dave Ellefson when I did a few songs with Metal Allegiance on a cruise that we were on. I think it was Motorboat years ago, and he super cool guy, really nice guy. I wound up with his email, and I sent him some of the stuff, and he dug it. So got hooked up with him and Tom Hazart, who's kind of in charge of things over there. They kind of work it together. And they're both super cool guys, you know, super flexible, but know what they're doing. So it's been really a positive experience all the way around. You
know, you're not the only one that said that. There've been some bands that signed with them that are up-and-coming bands, and they all have said the same thing. It's so laid back, but you have someone there that can help you and guide you and not force you into doing something that you don't want to do. Yeah, exactly. They've got it down to where they know what they want out of the project, but they are also in tune with what you want. Mm-hmm. So it's a really nice meeting in the middle kind of a situation. What led you to pick the first single, At the Tone? What was it about this song for you to say, let's make this a single and plus a video lyric single? Well, honestly, you know, I don't know if it's really the single. We're coming out with, there'll be a video and another song coming out here in the next couple of weeks that's probably, I guess, more of a single. This was just kind of a leader track that we wanted to put out. There's, I don't know, it's the first song on the album and seems to have kind of, I don't know, perhaps if you don't like this, then you probably won't like the rest, but it's a good chance to hear what's going on with the rest of the record. I mean, the other songs, some of them are different and they're about different things and, you know, they've got different tempos and whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're curious what it basically sounds like, that's basically what it's about, you know, and that track, it's got a little attitude, you know, and it's kind of a fun track, you know, it's lighthearted enough. And so we just figured that'd be a good one to lead off with, but it's not really, you know, like I said, I don't know if it's really a single necessarily. It's maybe just a first taste. As you mentioned before the interview, you had been sitting on some of these songs for quite some time, and some that hadn't even been completed, and plus a few had been for Kill Devil Hill. But how long had you been sitting on these songs or even completed them to be put on an album? Well, some of them I've had for years. I mean, and I still have a giant pile of stuff. I mean, but it's kind of like, I don't know, like there's at least two songs that were written initially for Kill Devil Hill. In fact, the one that Vinny Appice is guesting on, playing drums, is a track that was part of the first group of songs that we wrote for the first Kill Devil Hill record. And it just never wound up getting picked for the first record, didn't get picked for the second record. And,
with the band on hiatus, I'm like, well, I think it's a decent song. I'll just put it out myself. And so, those sorts of things kind of happen. There were songs that were written for other bands that I've been in that either didn't see the light of day, or the band broke up before the record came out, or, there's so many different variables, but the one thing that I've always done is write songs. And so I've got, a lot of stuff that's just, it can be reworked, or maybe, you add somebody else in, like Brian Tishy, who's an amazing drummer, have him play on something and suddenly it's got a new life, and sounds different. And it's inspiring, to have a really great drum track like that, and then, lay the rest of the song down to that. So, there's a lot of material that was just, I thought they were good songs, but for whatever reason, they just never had come out or never been used for anything. So, it kept me busy during the times, the time that we've had off with Kill Devil Hill,
When you started going back and going through these and started working on them, what was it that said, yeah, man, I want to actually put these out. I want to do a solo album. What was that spark for you for this?
Well, it's kind of funny. I do some recording engineering on the side, and I was engineering some rhythm guitars for the most recent Wasp record. So I was over at Blackie's studio with him, and he was tracking guitars. And on a break, he asked me, well, what are you up to lately? And I sort of kind of was bumming out about it, talking about, well, not much. I wish I was touring. I miss playing, and he's like, well, you write a lot of that stuff anyway. Why don't you just sing it yourself? And I kind of started, I don't know, hemming and hawing. And he looked at me, kind of like only, Blackie can look at you, kind of almost looking right through you. And he said, well, can you do it or not?
Oh.
And it was almost like, I don't know if it was the challenge of it or if it was just that I have so much respect for him as a vocalist.
Yeah.
But that was the moment I think I decided, yeah, I can do it. I'm going to do it, And so I decided I was going to actually point myself at it and see it through. Because before that, I had just been kind of, writing songs and demoing them here at my studio the way I always do. Never had any intention of releasing it. But after that, I was like, all right, yeah, I can do this, So it was really inspiring.
I think Blackie laid the challenge to you, my friend.
A little bit. Yeah, he's a great guy. So totally inspiring individual.
Were you nervous at all putting this out? After thinking back on this, when you first started getting to do this after that?
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely. I've never considered myself a singer or, I've always played and written songs, but, it's a new challenge for me and I'm enjoying it. I want to keep doing it. But to say that I think I have it down would be way off base. It's like trying to learn to play guitar left-handed. It's just really like learning a new instrument. So, I'm still working on it, and it's getting there. I think it's going to be good, but, definitely a work in progress.
How long did it take you, Mark, to record this album, put it together?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't know when I really started. I guess it's been done for almost a year. And by the time I had it completed, mixed and mastered and started shopping it and playing it for people, I probably had at least a year into it. I would say probably a year and a half. Brian had done the drums, a long time ago. So, it's been a long time coming, and I just chip away at the stone. Since I have the studio here at my house, I just kind of work at it when I could, and make it work that way. But it's been definitely a year and a half, I would say, at least.
Are there any songs off this solo album that stand out more to you on it as of right now, possibly? I know these are like picking your favorite collectible or child, but are there any stand out for you, man?
No, I don't know. There's the heavier side of it, which is good. There's the, more commercial side of it. There's just different facets of it, but the one that's coming out next is called Back in the Day, and there's a video for it. And, probably, I think that song's fairly strong. There's some other songs. There's a song called Color of Blood that's about unity and stuff. That's a pretty strong song. And I don't know. It's tough. When you write songs and record them and stuff, you just get lost in them and you lose your objectivity. And it's hard to really know what song's better than the other because they all have good parts and bad parts to them. Or sometimes you listen back to them and all you hear is like that one little guitar lick you didn't get perfect. Mm-hmm. And, that doesn't really even affect the song to someone who doesn't know what to listen for. So, it's important to have somebody you trust that you can have listen to the stuff and tell you what they think, get an opinion, an honest opinion from somebody. Cause once you've gotten this far into something, you just don't, there's no objectivity left at all.
Since you had the recording studio at your house, did you record this album yourself, or did you have someone to help you on it?
No, I did all the tracking myself, engineering and all that stuff myself.
Do you like this side of it, man, just to have the time when you want to do your own recording, or do you like to have that producer in there with you?
Well, I'd love to. I mean, there are guys out there that are amazing producers, and it would be awesome to work with them. But, the reality is, for a guy like me that's just doing it on his own, I don't have a big budget to pay these guys. And, sure, it'd be great, but I don't, I've been doing recording engineering for a really long time. And so I know how to do it myself. And it's kind of it's not as easy as having somebody push the buttons, because when it's sort of a left brain, right brain thing, you know what I mean? Like the analytical and the artistic part. But, if it's just me, fine. It's just me, and at least then, I can do it on my own terms and on my own time, so there's a positive side to it. But yeah, it's harder to focus on the artistic part when you've got to stop and then get back into the computer and take care of some of the math, so to speak.
At least it's not like 2-inch tape back in the day.
2-inch sounds great, though, man. I wish I had a 2-inch machine.
True. I agree with you.
Old Studer.
I agree with you. I like the old sound. But things change.
Awesome.
But I everybody says if they, things change for the better. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Dave Grohl said it best that, people used to have to commit to tracks, because I was watching Sound City, that documentary that he did, which is incredible. And he said that you have to commit to a certain amount of tracks when you're doing it on 2-inch tape. You can't just record endless guitar tracks and endless, takes of a solo or a vocal. You have to actually commit to, one performance. And that really makes a musician focus on the performance aspect in a way that Pro Tools and a lot of these digital platforms don't make you. So it's an interesting difference for sure.
What do you hope your fans take away from this album once they start to listen to it, or just a message that you hope that they get when they start listening to it, or just anything that you guys got out there, even Kill Devil Hills music?
Honestly, I just hope people will enjoy it. Music's for entertainment. When I put on a record, like if I'm, going to the gym, I want to listen to some music, I put on some stuff I'm in the mood to listen to. I hope that, the music that, from my solo record or from Kill Devil Hill or anything that I do is, perfect for somebody's mood one day, sometime when they're doing something and they want to put it on and listen to it. That's how I listen to music. So I can only hope that somebody will find that same kind of satisfaction listening to the stuff that I do.
This may be a kind of a crazy question, but putting this solo album out, and plus you seeing the songs and stuff that you have in the past for this, have you seen yourself grow musically as an artist doing this solo album?
Yeah, I've had to force myself to kind of learn how to sing a little bit because, I've always sang backup vocals, but it's not even the same thing at all. So, trying to get my head around that is one thing. But seeing myself grow, that's tough. It's kind of like looking in the mirror every day. It's like you don't see your hair grow, but it's growing. Yeah. So something's got to be happening, right? So I don't know. Hopefully there's something good going on there. I can only hope.
Do you do anything differently, man, during that writing and recording process to maybe help keep your mind fresh and open to new ideas when you're tracking this?
Not really during the process. Usually if I'm going to write stuff, I keep a giant list of ideas, for stuff, because I'll have ideas when I'm in the middle of doing something completely different. I'll have an idea come to me. Like Message at the Tone, the song that's out right now. I literally was driving down the 101 freeway and I sang that chorus, the entire chorus, just like it is on the song, out loud. And for no reason, it just came to me. And I pulled over to the side of the phone and I typed it in, or I pulled over to the side of the road rather, and typed it into my phone so that I wouldn't forget it. But that's how that song came to be, was because I was driving down the road and I sang it out loud. I don't even know why that is, but a song came out of it. So sometimes it's just, you never know when, that creative spark is going to strike.
What can fans expect at a show from you if you're planning to take this out on the road, possibly?
Well, I'm hoping that we can, we can play the stuff the way it is on the record and try to have a high energy, show and make it happen. I mean, I've been rehearsing with a couple of guys lately and it's going pretty well. So I'm hoping that we can go out and play and bring it to the people a little bit, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, I really do enjoy playing the songs. So if we can make it happen, great. If we can find some people that want to hear it or see it live, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I know that Vinny Appice has made a guest appearance on this album. Would he be part of this, going out on tour with you, or have you got anybody locked in possibly? But you just answered that, so.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be Vinny. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't rule out having him come sit in if he wanted to. I love Vinny. In fact, I miss Vinny. I haven't seen him in a while, and he's a really good hang. The guy is such a cut up, it's hilarious. But right now, Mike Dupke from Wasp has been playing drums, so, he's doing a great job. He's an amazing drummer.
Do you like the digital era of recording albums to get music out quicker, and plus social media to reach out to more fans, especially with this new solo album, for them to hear it?
Sure, I suppose. I mean, the reality is whatever is available is what's going to happen. So, social media is basically the way it is now. So, yeah, I think it's great. I think it lets the fans be more in touch with what's going on. And as a fan, I kind of like that, So, yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing. And, more access to music is always a good thing. I mean, if you are able to listen to what you want to listen to more easily, I mean, it's better. So, yeah, I think it's great.
Do you think that cuts down the full-length albums as opposed to back in the day? Because now everything's almost EPs out there now coming out. Yeah,
maybe so. I don't know. I people tend to put out like a single song or an EP a little bit more than maybe they used to, but there were always EPs, So
sure.
I don't know. I don't think that people listen to albums the way they used to. I mean, used to be you put on a record and you listen to the whole record,
Yeah.
And some people still do that. I mean, I still do that. Like I've bought albums recently, like, I don't know, Alter Bridge and Slash and whatever stuff came out. And when I go listen to it in the gym, or if I go for a run and listen to it, I listen to the whole thing in order. So, I mean, some people still do it. Maybe I'm old school, I don't know. But, I mean, I still do it. So, some things change, but some things stay the same.
No, I get it. I like having the full lengths. There's a few EPs that's impressed me here lately, and I wish that, hey, that could have been a full length. but I get it. The money part of it, and getting stuff out quick for fans. I get it.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing about that's changed a little bit. It seems like with social media, it's kind of everyone's got a little shorter attention span. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about content and keeping things moving. On social media and in the press. So. Yeah, sometimes if you break it up, you can keep things going a little bit more constantly, and that helps, I guess.
What made you want to become a musician, Mark? What was that spark for you, man, that said, yeah, I want to do that?
Well, I think Blizzard of Oz more than anything else. I mean, I like the Beatles, and I remember I had started playing guitar a little bit, but I wasn't really that into it. But then when Blizzard of Oz came out, I remember I had the album and I had a guitar and I learned how to put the needle back and try to learn, that was the first time I really sat down and tried to learn how to play something, like a particular song. And, that's when I really started getting inspired, to practice hard and that sort of thing.
When do you think we possibly could see Kill Devil Hill coming back together, man, and put some new music out there? Anything that you guys have discussed possibly or no?
Well, that's a good question. Right now, Dewey and I, we still talk all the time. He comes over. We actually have written a bunch of songs. So, I mean, there's a lot of material and probably enough to do a record. So I don't know, exactly what'll happen or when or anything. I mean, there's definitely nothing in the works as far as recording an album or anything like that coming up. But there's talk of maybe getting together and jamming, maybe doing a benefit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's hard to predict the future is the truth of it, but I certainly hope so because I love that band. I love playing those songs. I've never wanted to stop playing those songs. And the only reason I'm putting this record out is because I haven't had the ability to go out and play those songs. So, it's okay to do some things, do whatever's necessary, but at the end of the day, you know, I'd really like to see Kill Devil Hill come back, you know, to do some more music, because I really like what we were doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. It's not always up to you, though, is the truth of it.
Folks, Mark Zavon's self-titled album will be released November 23rd via EMP Label Group. You want to pick this up. Mark, my friend, how can folks stay in touch with you, buy this self-titled album and other albums that you have out, and tour dates whenever you do take this on tour? How can they do that, my friend?
I've got a new website up. It's www.markzavon.com. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Hit me up anytime. Yeah, that stuff will be available through EMP's website as well, EMP Label Group. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show, good sir?
Sure, absolutely. Hi, this is Mark Zavon, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up. You only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour at BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please go out and check us out on our Facebook page and also our YouTube page. And we also have a podcast link, and all that information is on our Facebook page for BODS Mayhem Hour. Check out Mark Zavon, Kill Devil Hill, and all that stuff he's got out. So, Mark, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Pleasure's all mine, John. Thanks for having me.
Now you're the golden